All right, so hey guys, welcome back to Kate's Regretless Life. So let's get into this, shall we? We're gonna go ahead and begin. And I heard the words, sing me your song. I don't know what that's gonna mean just yet, if anything, but we shall see where this one goes. Now, if you guys are looking for zodiacs, I do all of those in a streaming format. So if you check either the playlist tab, you'll find every zodiac you're looking for, or if you are looking for the bonus messages, the daily messages, you can just go and check under the live tab, or again, the playlists for those. But this is just a different format. I'm doing this as a video upload instead of as a stream. But most all my content, thousands and thousands of my videos, are all under the streaming, so under the live tab or the playlist tab. We start with the devil. It is sideways. Devil being sideways. Sing me your song. Well, I think it's about lying. I think this is saying, somebody is saying, okay, yeah. Tell me your little tale of woe. Six of Swords. King of Swords. There's the lies, okay? So we kind of called it before it even hit, didn't we? Seven of Swords along with that Strength card. Okay, so in this storyline right now, we seem to be dealing with someone completely does not have faith in the words of a King of Swords, but this King of Swords is saying, or they would like to be seen as somebody of high integrity. Now, granted, this card is very damaged because I am a ferocious shuffler, and so sometimes I just add in that this is tattered. Now, maybe a tattered reputation is what I'm getting at, maybe a tattered energy on this, but we have a King of Swords who wants to say something that he believes is true, but we have, I would argue, we have a feminine who has cried enough tears over him and has moved on. And it might be right as she is in that final, like she's pulled up anchor, she's ready to sail away. I have cried so many tears. I've been a rain cloud over you. I've been isolated. I've been lonely. So I'm leaving this behind. And this seems to be the timeline where she's saying it made me toxic, hanging on, waiting alone for you to finally tell me some truth. And this is him saying, but I have truth to tell now. The problem is we have the messenger, and I want to say he's known he needed to say this for a long time. Somehow he has observed her moving on. He has known that she is on her way out. I don't know why he hasn't taken action sooner, but this seems like it's coming in the 11th hour. And that sentence, sing me your song, I feel like that is kind of like a little bit of a, oh, I'm so sure, you're going to tell me the truth now. Go ahead, sing me your song. It feels a little like that. Now, maybe that's not warranted. Maybe that is. It's coming from the lips of somebody who has been wounded, though. We know that. And unfortunately, that King of Swords, that if they were trying to hold on to something and make everything seem like it was all good, when in fact their life was falling apart, that could have contributed to why someone else has a really poor impression of him. She's like, no, I've been hurt by you. And he's, there was nothing wrong. There's no reason that you weren't there for me. And that might not be the case, because this, yes, it's about lies, but the lies could be different than what someone thinks they are. So we have this feminine who, she may only have what bits of information she has to go off of regarding him. So in her mind, you're a liar. You were just fine and you chose not to be around me. When in fact, he might have been putting some facade up about everything is fine, which, not wanting to either display his dramas and traumas, but that contributed to more of this like negative viewpoint of this. Now, with that Leo energy with the Strength card, I gotta say, her heart is pretty hard against him, but she's also saying, I healed from this, it's why I'm moving on. So yeah, you want to tell me your truth, which I know is just a pack of lies, but go ahead. It seems like somebody who's sitting there kind of like, arms crossed, like, sure, go ahead and tell me your supposed truth. I'm really listening. So it doesn't have a good vibe. This whole thing does not have a very nice vibe to it at all. Let's take a look first at our Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and King of Swords. Okay, so they definitely were not giving. We have the Six of Pentacles, and we have, they might have called off a wedding with that Five of Cups here, or excuse me, Five of Pentacles, because we have this church, and I don't know why, but I'm thinking of it as like a wedding. Maybe there was talk of being married, and then everything came to a full stop. They certainly, that King of Swords did not end up giving. They're saying that they themselves have been outside of grace. They themselves have been extremely full of sorrow. Yes, I didn't give to you, but I've also been full of sorrow. Give me another one on that. We've got Twin Flame in the reverse. This distance, this is like I couldn't even feel a 5D connection. I couldn't be attached to any aspect of this. I have been out in the cold without your voice, without your smell, without your energy being projected at me. I would say in this story, and please remember, I don't actually read for genders. This could be either or, same sex, doesn't matter. But we're just going to say him because of what we see on the card there. He seems to be conveying, like, you don't know how lonely it's been, how ice cold it's been without any of your energy, but he feels her energy completely being removed from him, which it is, because let's actually go over there and take a look at her vibe. Let's go with this deck. Six of Swords. Tell me about that Six of Swords for her. Okay, the world is mostly in the reverse, a little bit of a jaunty angle. Sideways for her, we've got the Justice, we've got Ace of Pentacles. It's been one heck of a difficult time for her. I think she's gone back and forth and back on, they did me so wrong, I should just have a new beginning. What if they ever came back to try to fix what was wrong and have a new beginning? Would I even walk through that door? She has really been in a stagnancy for a very long time. This is her finally getting out of it. This is her finally getting out of it. So let me ask this. Why only now that it's as if she's reached the breaking point. She's done. She's finally like scooping herself up, pulling up the anchor and leaving. Why is this happening right now of all times? Why is it this time that he is coming in with some kind of a, we'll go with this deck. Why now of all times is this happening? Oh boy. And we have got the King of Swords sideways. Okay, so, and it came in like a little bowling ball and knocked over our devil, which is maybe important in this as well. I want to say that there is some underlying energy where I think a lot of this hurt and pain could have been avoided had there just been communication. I think that not communicating has been weighing very heavily on him, because indeed that is the vestiges of being toxic, of not speaking a truth. Holding back energy has been hurting him, not giving her the full information, letting her think poorly of him, letting her be wounded because she doesn't know what went on. And she has a very poor opinion, and that hurts him. So everybody's getting hurt all because of the lack of communication, which ultimately is what the devil energy is all about. Okay. Give me one more on why this is happening now. That Ace of Cups is here. There is a strong desire for a new beginning. I wouldn't normally read an Ace of Cups as an offering of an apology, but in this one, I can't help but think that that's how it feels. It feels like there's a strong motivation from the benevolent energies of the universe that say, offer your cup, offer your apology. I'm sorry, did I say Ace of Pentacles? It's Ace of Cups. My apologies. I think I misspoke on that. I'm thinking Ace of Cups or chalices, cups, doesn't matter, but I think I just said Pentacles. My apologies. Again, I wouldn't normally say that is a gigantic apology coming in, because normally we look at that more with the Page of Cups. But in this storyline, I think this is happening now because we've got these little fairies. You know, sometimes we talk about spirit guides being like animals or angels, or but in this case it's fairies in this particular storyline. So there is a little bit of happy magic afoot that is encouraging specifically the heart of this King of Swords to look at, you know, like you realize you've been making a toxic choice, which in turn, to not communicate. That's what the toxicity is. But that in turn is hurting you, it's hurting her, it's making her think poorly of you, which is hurting you further. You know, there's just no reason to make choices in life that only cause grief. So how about we choose better? All right, that brings us to whatever the real situation was. I feel like we should stick with this deck. So that Seven of Swords has a desperation aspect. It has a I'm faking it, making it pretend like everything is fine and dandy when in fact I feel desperate. I feel like I'm lying but trying to act like everything's fine. So that Seven of Swords is a very different vibe on that. And this is what actually happened. We've got a King of Pentacles, we have a Six of Wands. Okay. Somebody will say the king, most likely. He's a King of Swords, but he was trying to act like he was a King of Pentacles. Somebody who was very wealthy, somebody that was very successful. If that's what the lie was, he was maybe clinging to this idea of like, no, I'm going to be really successful. I'm going to be really wealthy. I want to present myself to her in that manner. But that's not true. He was hanging on maybe to every single penny he had, and maybe seeing his bank account deplete, and maybe seeing nothing but bills pile up and debts being called in. Maybe he was on shaky turf with a career path, and yet he wanted to come across as a man of means, and that's not what the situation was. That's what the lie was about anyway. Give me a little bit more on that. We've got an Eight of Pentacles, so he was actively trying to work on things to become what he said he was. You know, this could have been that this king had wealth at one point, and then, you know, the tides of fortune turn all the time. Sometimes everything we built goes belly up. I think we can all attest to that in the last couple of years, everything the world's gone through. So it's very relatable, even though this is a fictional story. It's still very relatable. But he was desperately trying to work, maybe burning the midnight oils. I feel like his mind was really, really distracted and really busy, trying desperately to either conduct himself as a you know, powerful individual, when in fact he was, you know, kind of like the duck analogy. Ducks look like they're gliding really smooth on the water, but underneath they're paddling like hell. It feels like that's what he was really doing. Maybe his work ended up, you know, his focus had to shift to pure work. He couldn't pursue relationship. But here's the critical flaw. The critical flaw is he was in a place of desperation while pretending to be very affluent, while in fact barely holding it together. And the big issue is he didn't convey that. And so in order to more or less hide that, because we did have the Seven of Swords under all this, to hide it, to hide what he couldn't offer her, and to not convey it to her, that is what led to this huge sense of distance and her feeling hard done by and mistreated. So I'm guessing because of that church, I don't know if he talked about wanting to be married, and then it was like, oh my God, what have I even done? I can't do any of this. Let me ask the fundamental question. Let's change decks when we do this. But King of Swords, why didn't you just say it? Why didn't you just tell her? I mean, there's no shame in struggling with finances, but why didn't you just tell her where the problem was? Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Hang on. They made a decision not to. Eight of Wands. It's like they said, no, I'm not going to tell her maybes. I'm not going to tell her I don't know what is going on right now. I'll tell her everything when I can come in, and I can tell her everything's good now. In retrospect, King of Swords, do you think that that was the best idea? Oh boy. We've got the Ten of Cups upright, but the Seven of Cups sideways. Well, he claims, at least in his mind, he doesn't know if that was really right, but his intentions to have and offer something huge were always there with that Ten of Cups. Well, sometimes the things that a character tries to do don't end up yielding the best results. But let's move on to that Strength card. Let's go back to that other deck. So tell me what this energy is of this Strength. Leo energy there. We have got the Knight of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Four of Cups in the reverse. Remember in the beginning of this, to me, that looked like she was in a place where she was saying, well, go ahead, sing me your song, tell me some more lies. Oh, you want to talk to me now? I'm sure whatever you're going to tell me isn't really going to be true, but go right ahead, sing me your song. I'll listen. I've been strong enough to deal without being with you. I've just broken this off completely and I've finally moved on, but now I'm going to hear from you. Okay, sing me your song. I guess I'm tough enough to handle it. The thing is, I almost think that the outcome here is her kind of saying, but why wouldn't you just have told me that? Partners have each other's back. I would have been strong for you. Different times you'll be strong for me. We could have leaned on each other. As she hears this anyway, it kind of looks like, well, you didn't come toward me to offer me love because you thought you didn't have anything to offer. I get that part. But with this, I don't want illusions. I never wanted illusions, period. There was not really a reason that you couldn't have told me how the situation was. We got Four of Pentacles Four of Pentacles upright and the Tower sideways. The unfortunate thing is that I think she's saying there's a lot of ego in all of this, because instead of looking at things and saying, okay, I'm going to let a partner in on what I'm going through, they keep it to themselves. They may have a habit of keeping things to themselves, and that's an ego-based thing. Well, I don't want to look weak in front of my partner. But that's one of the beauties of having a partner, is we can be our real selves. We can show our real, true selves. I think what the message here is, for any relationship to be successful, it requires a vulnerability. It requires partners being able to say what they're afraid of to each other, and to lean on each other, and to express what's really going on. Not to have an ego with that one partner, the partner who's going to see you in your most, real selves. They're going to see you in your birthday suit. They're going to see you with your heart broken, or they're going to see you when you make a mistake, and they're still going to love you through it. Like, this feels like that was just a lot of fear-based decision on their part. I don't want to say what I'm afraid of. I don't want to show you when I don't feel good about myself. I don't want to show you that. But that's ultimately where all the conflict has been, about why this relationship wasn't moving forward, wasn't coming to fruition, wasn't happening properly. So with all that in mind, let me just ask for an outcome on this, because this is the message coming through, like I said, kind of in the 11th hour. And she kind of took that energy of like, yeah, sing me your song. So she's willing to receive this message. And I think as she hears all of this, it brings out, obviously, that there was too much ego involved in this. But the outcome is a Queen of Pentacles with the Magician. I think at the end of the day, if this is and I'm only going to say this is our feminine, because that's what this has been all about, is, we've had a feminine and a masculine, so let's stick with our characters the way they are. It actually says she has perhaps wished for this day to come, wished to finally hear everything, even though she said she was finally done, she's over it. Having a message come through. Aries, come here, my loves. Aries, come here, honey. Oh my. I think it's having a message like this come through, having the explanation come through. I'm not saying they handled anything right, but the explanation of this is enough for her to say, God, I've wished, honestly, if I'm raw and honest with myself, I had wished that all of this could be fixed. I have wanted to still give to that person. It's not like I ever wanted to leave this behind, but what choice did I have when they weren't giving to me and I had no idea why? I've always hoped that it would be a reasonable answer of something that would take away the hurt and pain that I've been through. Is it understandable that humans are flawed and humans can have too much ego? Absolutely. Is there a chance for this relationship? Well, she's kind of the one holding all the cards here, and I believe this says this is something she's actually wished for, is for this person to come back in at some point, tell her the full truth, and if it were not some heinous you know, terrible truth, then yes, she would actually still want to see where this could go. This is her greatest wish. For this Queen of Pentacles in this storyline, this is her wish. So the outcome is what can be manifested from this point forward. We still have ego to deal with. We still have, I don't know, I feel like these two are like hugging it out by the end of this. I feel like having the full comprehension of a situation, the fears, where all of this, you know, stemmed from, why this problem ever even occurred. I feel like all of that culminates, and all of that is actually finally like laid to rest, as tough as this storyline has been. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here at long last. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Lots of love to everybody. Like I said, if you prefer the Zodiac videos, I do those 2 for each Zodiac every week. You will find those either in the playlist that you might be looking for. I do the one Zodiac called Cancerian. I do that only on my other channel, which is called Tarot Dog. So that's the only thing that you'll still find a Cancerian video or playlist on this channel, but it won't have the most updated videos. There's several hundred in there from all the years I've had a channel, but I moved Cancerian over to Tarot Dog to be the star of the show. So on this channel you will find all of the other Zodiacs, including Ophiuchus. So yeah, welcome, and thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. See you again soon. Bye.